DoriJunkie here, back with another DoriJunkie's car review. And as you can tell, this time under the spotlight, it's the Hummel. Based on the Porsche 911 Carrera they've had for a long time, this shape. It's available only, I'm pretty sure, in the Flying Hummel event. Although they may offer it for a special once in a while. But we'll get it in our rating system and see how she goes. Quick refresher, just to remind you. Be rating it on customization, ease of tuning and performance for a grand total at the end, and we'll put it on our leaderboard. But first up, customization. Body kits are worth 1, body styles are worth 2. So first up, this is how you get the Porsche. No body kit at all. The classic 911 shape, like I said, they've had forever. Rear-engine, rear mount. Rear wheel drive, sorry, so it makes it interesting. The CBW kit's just pumps the wheel flares a bit, wheel arches a bit of a bigger wing, and a diffuser rear bar. Subtle changes there, the street style, bit more of aggressive front spoiler on it, a big rear spoiler, like a traditional Porsche one we're used to seeing. Go down to the R&T. Again, little low ground hugging front spoiler, pumped arches. Very classic Porsche look. Really widens the rear. But with all Porsches, of course, we've got to have the RWB kit, which is the shark nose in this game. Really fattens the body up, and a massive 3-tier rear spoiler, which is well over the top. It's well RWB influenced. Those rear guards have a spoiler on top of them as well, and they're all like a foot wider each side. Very cool. I'm glad they put this car and body kit in the game. So I'll show you what I did with mine. Probably no guessing what body kit I chose. The shark nose, put some RWB livery on it. Got rid of that massive rear spoiler, just a little subtle one just to match the spoilers on the rear guards. GFZ Club logo. Yes, and just a classic purple, gloss purple, just to finish it off. Looks rather nice. So we'll add it up. Not that many body kits in the game for this car, as you could probably expect, but it's got the one that matters. Everyone will be running the shark nose. Once you unlock it, you need to do the Flying Hummel event to unlock it, the car and the body kit, but it's well worth it. So it's not hard to tally this one up. 4 points for total and customization. Like I said, there's not a lot out there for this car in real life, so that's why there's not a lot in the game. But we'll move on. Ease of tuning. This is how easy it is to drift the car without tuning it at all. Pro drift free. And how many modifications, or how little modifications we have to make to get it to drift comfortably around the track. So we'll get into it. So as you can see, this is pro drift free. Settings they give it to you. Haven't changed anything. And we'll run this on the track. We'll see how we go. Straight up, the first 3 gears are almost useless, and fourth's too long. Yes, it really had to pull it back there. Doesn't handle too. Actually handles pretty good. It's just the gearing is just so way out in this. The fourth's way long, and third just a little bit too short. I'd say that's in the final drive, so we'll just play around with that. Straight to the diff full. Gear shifts slow. Put it down. We'll just try and get that good 0 to 100 or so. This car can be made quite fast. I don't call it the Flying Hummel event for nothing. It's one of the fastest cars in the game. But you really have to balance it out between driftability and speed. So we'll try that now. We've just done We bumped up the engine as well, done the gear ratios. You can tell now, just doing that alone has changed the car. Can drift comfortably now through the corner. Third's not too short, right in the sweet spot. It really put some big angle in it. So that's, like I said, the engine. I forgot the engine, so that'll make it a bit better. Give you the extra horsepower just to get it to spin through third and into fourth. So this is a very fun car. Even with the rear engine, I thought it might be a bit harder to tune. You might need a little bit more work on it, but this is totally suspension wise how they give it to you, and wheel wise. I've just played with the gear ratio and gave the engine its full horsepower, and as you can tell, drift quite comfortably around the track. You don't hit any poles. So that's with the slick tyres too, so you may need a little bit of work if you try sports or street tyres, but for me that's pretty good. Like, there was no actual upgrades, modifications to the settings required. It was just the engine and gearbox, just like every other car. So I can give this nothing but a 10 out of 10. Like, and with everyone has their own little tweaks to the suspension they like to make. It will just make this car that much better. And as you can see by the Dori Ultimate tune, this car can be quite quick. So we'll go on to the next stage, which is performance. We're running the stock motor and all the swaps, and I'll be combining the best swap in the stock motor. Springstone 1 is where I'm running it, 19k for 10 points and 10k for 1 point. Just hope we don't get there. I feel pretty confident with this car. As you can see, the stock motor here, the Dori Ultimate tune in it. It has 842 horsepower, 806 newton meters of torque, 1300 kilos, but that 0 to 60, 2.8 seconds. So we'll just see how this one from the stock motor, one of the better stock motors in the game. The car can be made a bit quicker, but you will lose driftability. So we'll move on to the first swap, 3.8 litre. Now this one has more horsepower, 872 horsepower, more torque, 871 newton meters of torque, less weight at 1150 kilos, but the 0 to 60 is 3 seconds. It's not bad, 3.0, but I said it could be a little bit quicker, but I just expected it to be a bit quicker than the stock motor, but slower 0 to 60, the less weight just helps you throw it around and just be more confident through the bigger drifts. And as you can see, there's a 10-point run there. That's actually second on the list, second only to the Blackjack. We know how overpowered that car is. So we'll move on to the 3 litre swap. Here we have 811 horsepower, 915 newton meters of torque, 1200 kilos, so a little heavier than the 3.8 and the 3.0 0 to 60 still. So same 0 to 60, a little bit more torque, a little bit less horsepower. We'll see how this odd, almost a 10-point run, very close to the 3.8 litre, but just a little bit short. So it shows up in a little less weight and a little less horsepower, but it's still a good swap. So we'll move on to the 7 litre. It has 838 horsepower, 1000 newton meters of torque, 1160 kilos, and 3.1 0 to 60. So a little bit of a funny 0 to 60 there. You expect it to be 3.0 like the 3.8, but like I said, you have to find the balance between driftability and speed. You really want it to be drift well and not struggle through the high speed drifts. Exactly the same as the 3 litre. It's not a bad swap, has plenty of torque, but just not as crisp as the 3.8, if I can say that. So we move on to performance. So like I said, the stock motor 18,239, that's absolutely awesome for a stock motor in this game. The 3.8 19,380, that's like I said, that's second overall, and the 3.8 3 litre and the 7 litre almost the exact same score. So we'll take the 3.8 litre and the stock motor. Like I said, that is a great score for a stock motor. To hit a 9-point run, that is pretty awesome. I think there's only 1 or 2 other cars in the game that have scored 18,000 on the stock motor. But like I said, we'll take those two. 9 for the stock motor, a 10 for the 3.8. So 19 out of a possible 20 is up there. This is one of the best performance cars in the game, and yeah, you won't be disappointed. I highly recommend it. So we'll move it on, we'll wrap it up with the results. See how she goes. So customization was a 4, ease of tuning 10, performance 19, so almost perfect in the bottom 2. A total 33, which, like I said, the customization really did let it down. This could have easily been a #1 car if it had just a few more body kits in the game. But like I said, it got #2 on the drift points leaderboard. As we can see there, pushed down the kit soon, right below the blackjack. Actually pushed the Patron GT off out of the top 10, and it's number 5 here, which is pretty good, top 5 still. Pushed the Horizon GT out of the top 10. Alright, that's it for this DoriJunkie's car review, guys. I'm DoriJunkie, and I'll catch you on the track.